On April 1st, 2021, I ditched a career I absolutely hated to better myself and do the things I've always wanted to do. And that included my growing love and obsession with Ireland. I want to learn everything: culture, history, mythology, music, and the language. Which, if I'm being honest, looks really hard to learn, but I'm going to give it the old Smith try. Then, of course, there is my love of pubs and the role that they've played throughout history, and no better example of that than on that beautiful, beleaguered island in the North Atlantic, Ireland. April 1st, 2026, I depart for the Emerald Isle, and for 1 year, I'll hike town by town and conduct interviews with pub owners, pub regulars, historians, town know-it-alls, musicians, and basically anybody that wants to talk to me. If you'd like to support the project and the journey, basic Patreon support is only $3 a month, but just liking a video or subscribing to the channel and following the journey is just as helpful. I'm always looking for volunteers to work as liaisons for the project too, so if you live in Ireland and know people, feel free to hit me up. This is a huge goal and I need all the help I can get. The Smitty Learns Irish Pubcast begins April 26th and will be my life's work. Thank you. And hello! Welcome to the show. Welcome to the Smit Hole. My name is Smitty. It is the What the Hell Everything podcast. Recording date and time February 21st, 2024. Fucking stoked to be on with you. And of course, on the live stream, if a patron does happen to jump on the live stream, got a reaction request, throw it on. You want to chime in on anything I'm yapping about, feel free. Otherwise, just hopefully enjoy the fucking show. Have some talky things to talk about. Some talky things. And some reacty things to react about. You know, hey, fucking A. That's how we do it. And then, of course, all of the talky bits get chopped up, thrown together as the podcast on Spotify and the tubes. And you know how it goes. Reactions on this, YouTube, whatever the fuck was going on. Oh, it's off to a bang already. Hey, what's the word of the day today? Let's learn a word. Oxymoron. I use that word quite a bit, quite frequently, essentially meaning the opposite, right? Oxymoron. It's just fun to say, meaning the opposite. Something describing, what's the best way to put this? I want to see if I can describe it before I actually look at the fucking meaning and example. It is something that goes together in a word setting, but means complete opposites, like military intelligence. All right, let's get this input switched over and see. First of all, I know I said it right, but... Sorry, Peter Gabriel. We're going to shut you down. Sledgehammer. That's what we're jamming to today. The word of the day is...
Oxymoron.
Oxymoron. What does this mean? What does it mean? A figure of speech that... Hey, you fucking pop-up son of a bee. A figure of speech that produces an incongruous, seemingly self-contradictory effect. They explained it way better than I did. Yeah, there you go. Where did this word come from? Let's find that out, shall we? Oxymoron, first recorded in 1650 to 1660, comes from the late Latin word oxymorum. Oxymorum is from the presumed but unrecorded Greek neuter of oxymoros. Your word has been neutered, meaning sharp, dull. All right. The song's title, Bittersweet Symphony, perfectly captures the essence of an oxymoron by evoking both positive and negative emotions. It definitely... I don't think I hate that song. I was going to say my rage, but I don't think Bittersweet Symphony evokes my rage. I think now that song, what would that song evoke? It's been a while since I've heard from Bittersweet Symphony. I'm not going to listen to it. I'm not going to react to it. I've heard it a million fucking times. But it's a bittersweet. I'd be like, I don't know. I don't know how well it holds up. Actually, let's fucking do it right now. Let's fucking do Bittersweet Symphony. Just for a quick snippety snip. Bittersweet Symphony. I'm trying to remember. I know how the intro goes. I think. 'Cause it's a bittersweet symphony and it's not. Yeah. Been a while though. I am tuned up for this, you know. I did get ready to go, so to speak. So I'm dialed in. I don't think I've ever listened to this song high with headphones on. Let's see how it goes, man. I don't know if I want to listen to the whole song, though. I don't know if I ever caught those spacey birds. I don't think I've ever listened to this with headphones on for sure. Definitely not high. You know, I call it enhanced listening for a reason. I'm like, man, catching some things happening. Some things happening.
It's a bittersweet symphony that's live.
Don't bore us. Get to the chorus. All right. Yeah, no. Meh. I've heard that song enough. You know, maybe I'll throw that on my own personal time at some point. But not today. Today is not that day. But the word of the day is oxymoron, and hey, I use that word quite a bit. Yeah, I could definitely work that into a practical sense at some point. I also kick off the show with just a quick reaction request for McTang, and this will probably be on the main podcast as well. It's just, I don't even know if it's going to be a sole reaction video. Probably, maybe, because I've seen it before. Yesterday, I want to say, it came through our friend thread, McTang and Tim and I, and he says, hey, react to that Irish guy putting his dad in a balloon. I'm like, all right, let's do that. Why the hell not? This was super fun. I saw this the other day. Like I said, McTang sent this in a thread, and what did he say? He says, this is Irish culture at its finest. I think that was the... McTag is his name, from Irish descent, as far as I know. I found out his dad, my friend Ryan, we went down and hung out, and that his dad owned an Irish bar in Royal Oak, where we were, and we went to the bar that his dad, the Irish pub in Royal Oak, Michigan, that his dad used to own. And it's so fucking cool. I can't remember the name of it now. But I just thought it was funny. He said, this is Irish culture at its finest. And it's one of the funniest doggone things I've seen in a long time. It's literally an Irish guy putting his dad in a balloon.
Ass. Yeah.
It's that fucking giant balloon. How do you find these things? They just keep blowing up the balloon as he inches in like a fucking skirt.
Do you know I'm a bigger Aegis? Hold on! See, I'm too slow. Quick and fast.
Quick and fast.
When you put it out, I put my hand down. Put your two hands down in under it and get... I have to put your both sides in. Marianne! 1, 2, 3, go in.
I fucking want to hang out with these guys immediately.
Go in there. Oh, for fuck's sake. Yeah, he was pulling out. He didn't pull it
There's a new fucking series, Smitty Learns Irish Training, Learning the Crack.
out, you know. Get the leaf blower. Get the leaf blower, Ty. Get the leaf blower. Hold it together. Ty, you stick it down to a fucking fire. What's that?
Oh my god.
I said you stick it down to a fire. Shit, all the air's coming out.
They really fucking missed an opportunity to throw some helium in for good measure once they got them all blown up, you know?
No, was that his?
Yeah, there's the helium. That should have been helium. Fucking right there.
I hacked my hand under the stress. Are you happy now?
Is that song, is that big in Ireland? It's got to be, right? It's an Irish rap artist, rap band, House Pain, right? Fucking, is that huge in Ireland? Fucking A, man. It's amazing. Oh, yeah. Honestly. You don't even have the German version? Always have the German version. It's not a disappointing video, though. It's fucking entertaining as shit. It makes me just want to hang out with Irish people more than I already did. I just had borderline obsession. Hey guys, I just want to hang out. I just want to be friends with you. That's kind of stupid when you think of it that way. Maybe not stupid, but anyway, that was fun. You know what's also fun is fucking Jon Stewart coming back to the Daily Show. Man, such a breath of fresh air. Finally, I enjoyed the Daily Show with Trevor Noah. He was great. He was awesome. I just love Jon Stewart, you know, and his show that was on Apple was fucking fantastic. And the accompanying podcast, which I don't think they're going to do because he's not associated with Apple anymore, as far as I know, was also awesome. But I hope he does bring some form of podcast, which would be fun because he's only doing the Daily Show once a week. I think he's executive producer of that show. I don't know. You probably don't need to throw that many hours as executive producer. It's probably still a full-time job, maybe, but you can still do that podcast. It was awesome, and it was exactly what I fucking expected, man. And immediately when I watched that first one, the fucking that first episode that he was back, and he just took both Biden and Trump to task for being perhaps mentally compromised. And fuck, he's got a point on both, you know. But none of the other sides want to ever say it's their dude, and it's fucking hilarious, and it's so predictable because as soon as like the next day, I just knew, and it was friends and family of mine, you know, that I love and respect, and I just happen to disagree with them on this particular thing. A lot of times, I'm not even close to fucking MAGA. I can't tell you how much I can't fucking deal with the idea of Trump as president again. But I also don't know how much I can take the idea of Joe Biden as president again. Oh my God! I mean, the beauty of like Jon Stewart is that he, and I've had this conversation with my mom before, and it's kind of a great comparison too, because she's very liberal, and you know, we've had the conversation about like the value of comedians being able to just kind of poke fun at the obvious that nobody's fucking saying. And no, that's the best part, my mom would say. And as soon as she hears a comedian that is saying something that she doesn't like, it's like she just shuts down. And it's the same. I don't know, I didn't talk to her about the Jon Stewart comments about Joe Biden. I didn't talk to her about it. I brought it up to my dad. I just thought it was fucking so predictable, the backlash that he got. And what is the fucking term that I've been seeing thrown around, the both sides-erism? And I'm like, get the fuck out of here, you know? I, first of all, hate implying sides, you know? I'm not going to toe your fucking line just to, just because I don't want to toe that line. It's like, I'm trying to put it. I don't feel the need to explain my fucking political history. But was fairly conservative, especially early on in my adult years. You know, I was kind of all about, and I still am a firm believer in the Second Amendment. But I was going down the fucking NRA path that I kind of just discovered in my own head. It was just like total bullshit. As soon as like I just kind of realized the Republican Party was pushing mainly a fucking a religious agenda more than I was comfortable with, and that is not fucking me, man. And it was just fucking again and again and again. And by the end of George Bush's second term, I was like, get the fuck out of here, you know? Obama was my first Democrat, and I was happy with him both terms. You know, I was happy with my vote in that case. I don't necessarily feel the need to explain my fucking political history again, but I just fucking love, because I've been on both sides and I see both arguments all the time, and they're not even original arguments, because again, the both sideserism thing. And it's just something they saw and they picked it up. Oh, it's both sides. It's just the next fucking term or the next fucking phrase that's invented in like the talking points. And I actually saw like people calling him a fucking traitor. And I'm like, you know what? You claim to love fucking free speech. But when the guy that you just forget will point out the obvious and mock the obvious that nobody else is talking about, and when it's pointed at your fucking guy, you're just like, oh man, you must be fucking against us if you're not fucking with us. Yeah. It's so fucking tiring. It's so fucking tiring. If you think he's bad now, wait till he starts talking about fucking Iran. Or not, excuse me, not Iran, Israel and Palestine. Wait till he starts talking about that. I love that he's back. And I love that he does that shit. Because we need it. If we ever needed it, it's now. It's now. Fucking A, Morrissey. What's next on this What the Hell Everything podcast? Sip of coffee, first of all. Man, I don't even know how to drink coffee like a normal human. Every once in a while. I've gotten pretty good throughout my life. But not spilling coffee, except for right then. You know, take a small sip, Smith. Sip, Smith. We have a Sip Smith gin at work. It's a strawberry gin. But no, take a sip, Smith. Not fucking glunk coffee all over your fucking self. Anyway, I was thinking about the German perspective on D-Day. What a great segue. I was watching Band of Brothers clips and things. I was just nerding out on Band of Brothers things on YouTube, but I caught the and ended up watching on Max the Men of Easy Company, First of the 506, We Stand Alone Together, the documentary. If you're unaware, Band of Brothers is my favorite fucking series of all time. Brother Josh just texted Brother Levi and I yesterday and goes, hey, I'm watching episode 1 of Band of Brothers for the first time. And we're like, both of us are just like, the first time? What the fuck's the matter with you? It's not like we haven't been talking about this series for fucking 20 years. And for me, honestly, there's a very nostalgic sort of personal aspect to it because, you know, I was in the Army and I was stationed in Korea, but the unit was First of the 506. It was deactivated after World War II, I think, for some time and brought back for the 2nd Infantry Division in Korea. So I was in the First of the 506, Currahee, man. So there's that personal aspect while watching Band of Brothers, which follows Easy Company, First of the 506, through the D-Day invasion, through Basic, the D-Day invasion, their campaign in Europe, and ending up taking Hitler's Eagle's Nest. So it's fucking fascinating, 10 episodes, and it's the best goddamn show ever. Anyway, I'm fucking nerding out and watching the the D-Day documentary with the actual people, because it's a true story, written by Stephen Ambrose. I actually got that book on my queue on fucking Audible. Finally going to read it. I've never have. But I started thinking about the German perspective on D-Day, not from like an emotional perspective, like necessarily, because fuck them, but just like from like the pillboxes. Because I don't know, my timeline is not necessarily great on D-Day history. It kind of is. Like, I know that they knew we were going to invade, but they didn't know where. And they actually fucking had, I want to say, the United States had some decoys set up some fucking where that were like inflatable tanks and things like that to make them think that they were invading somewhere else. So they thought we were coming somewhere else. We ended up coming into Normandy. And I know that the paratroopers for the 506 jumped in before the invasion, I want to say, to take out the guns and things to clear the way for the invasion. I don't know how far in advance. I don't know how many minutes. I don't know if it had to have been just like a half an hour to an hour max by the time those guys jumped in before the beach invasion. So I don't know how much the German soldiers that were in those fucking pillboxes on D-Day were aware of what was coming in. Because I'm just thinking of like looking over the horizon, from those fucking pillboxes. Because you only really start shooting once they get into probably, I would say those machine guns are probably effective range of maybe like 1,000 meters, perhaps more than 1,000 meters. That's a big fucking machine guns. 1,000 meters is probably not even close. It's probably much more than that. But you just had to be like, oh man, fucking, because they didn't necessarily have radar or I don't know the capabilities of detecting them ahead of time. But just that fucking feeling of, oh, fucking shit, when you saw the fucking scale, of the invasion, which was hundreds of, it wasn't thousands of transports, but it was fucking ship after ship after ship after ship after ship, and just very, very, because the Germans didn't know, thought that they were landing somewhere else, and they still had defensive positions with soldiers manning those defensive positions, but they were not manned nearly what they should have been, according to the Germans, and good defensive positions can fucking devastate, as proven on D-Day. But just the fucking dread that those motherfuckers had to feel, seeing fucking wave after wave of fucking transport coming, really had me thinking about that. The ultimate dread. It's the ultimate dread. Knowing you're fucking outgunned, knowing eventually, fucking probably, they're just going to take over this fucking place. Anyway, I was wondering about that. Now, let's switch the vibe, man. Let's play Just the Tip. That was fun. Successful, Just the Tip. First song right out of the gate. Let's scroll some headlines. What the fuck do we have here? The woolly mammoth is making a comeback. Is this some dumb blog site? I can't remember what it looked to me. That's from Giant Freaking Robot, so maybe not a dumb blog site, but a blog site by T.J. Small, published 1 week ago. The woolly mammoth is coming back, and I've heard, I think I'd seen on some podcast clips or something like that, in Russia specifically, perhaps, in Siberia, scientists are looking to bring fucking woolly mammoths back, clone them and bring them back as a way to deal with like the permafrost growth. They had some weird scientific explanation on this podcast. I can't remember which one now. Scientific explanation. I can't remember who it was, so I can't say how scientific it was. But saying that it would make total like ecological sense to do it. because they would eat the permafrost, and there needs to be that sort of balance in that area. Anyway, I don't know if that's fucking true. For years, many bioscience corporations have held the lofty ambition of reviving a long-extinct species like the woolly mammoth using DNA sequencing, blah, blah, blah. I'll get to the fucking details. This is what I say when I fucking see blog articles. I could have read this in advance, but I don't like to. I just like to read it with you together. New Colossal Biosciences claims that it has cracked the code and plans to birth the first calves of its kind by 2028. I'm fucking down for it, man. I want to see fucking woolly mammoths. Fuck that playing God thing, you know? You can get away with it in this instance, you know? There's only so many movies about this shit. Geneticists at the company have also expressed interest in breeding extinct creatures such as the dodo bird and the Tasmanian tiger. I don't know if there's ecological sense for those. Who knows? Let's bring them all back. You know, let's really play some fucking roulette. Some fucking roulette with life. Woolly mammoths are said to have gone extinct. Not said to, they were. When mankind was constructing the Great Pyramids. Let's see. However, Colossal Biosciences co-founder and geneticist George Church has expressed his vision to blend DNA sequencing data available to his lab with that of modern descendants of the woolly mammoths, such as today's Asian elephants. Fucking A, there's not really any great details to the story that I can see at this point. But let's just say that, for sake of argument, that it is true. And woolly mammoths are brought back. I love that. I don't know. I don't think that is a popular opinion. But it's not like they're not fucking dinosaurs. You're not bringing T-Rexes back yet. But if it makes ecological sense for the woolly mammoths, I don't know about the Tasmanian tiger. You know? Like, honestly, it's because just for cool sake and cool factor, if we brought back fucking saber-toothed tigers. Because that's always something I wanted to see in real life, is a fucking saber-toothed tiger. You know, because somebody's got to be a predator to the woolly mammoths, you know? Somebody's got to keep that population under control. If it's got to be saber-toothed tigers, I mean, it's got to be. What's next on this headline scroll? Headline scrolling. HP CEO says the quiet part out loud. That's why I saved this. Yeah, make printing a subscription. This is the fucking dumbest shit in the world from PCWorld.com. In a recent interview, Enrique Lores, the HP CEO, laid out the company's view that people who buy printers are investments that don't pay off if they go third party. Meaning printers are one of the banes of modern computing, expensive and frustrating relics that nonetheless occasionally necessary. Over the last few years, HP seems to be doing its best to make them even more expensive and frustrating by milking the infamously exploitative ink market until both the literal and metaphorical cartridge runs dry. Okay. He recently said the quiet part out loud. In an interview with CNBC last week during the World Economic Forum in Davos, HP CEO gave a few choice quotes in response to a recent lawsuit over HP's software updates that block ink cartridges from non-HP sources. He started by saying, I think for us it's important to protect our AP intellectual property. I mean, I guess that doesn't. So if it's not made by HP, it won't fit in your printer, is what you're saying. Let's see, where's the fucking... In an interview with CNBC, I read that. I think for us it's important to protect our intellectual property. There's a lot of IP that we are built in the inks of the print heads and the print heads itself and the printers, and what we're doing is when we identify cartridges that are violating IP, we stop the printer from working. So it's not like it would be like your fucking Ford or whatever, you know. If some other company built a part to go in that Ford would say, fuck it, and just shut your car off. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's a fucking dick move is what it is, because they just want to fucking make all the money. I thought I kind of read that wrong, which happens a lot with me. I thought it was something completely kind of different. Oh no, it is. They want to make it a fucking subscription. Is the next point of the story is that they would just want you have to subscribe to HP to whatever their fucking whatever the third party is, and say fuck you. They're just saying fuck you to their consumer is what they're doing. All right, that story sucked, and I feel like it is time. It is time. Almost for a 420 break. I would love to hear more from that band. The Lavender Alliance. Fun, fun, fun. Where's that fun gif? Let's see, shall we? Let's move on. Oh, what's next? What is next? Oh, a little headline scrolling. Oh, this was fucking hilarious. I know I'm not going to England yet. I do plan to visit, and hopefully if the podcast goes well and I can do more seasons of Smitty Learns fucking another language and culture, then Smitty Learns English will be in there. That being said, they apparently, according to this story from theguardian.com, sloshed, plastered, and gazeboed why Britons have 546 words for drunkenness. I don't think I'm going to go through fucking 546 words. I've already learned one word today. Don't want to overdo it, but let's look at some, shall we? Drunkenness. What the fuck? Drunkenims, as old as alcohol itself. Quantity 546. I'm not entirely sure I know what a drunkenism is. Let's fucking move on. Does it list the words? I'm trying to really fucking. It's not even. You know what? Fuck this story. Drunkenims are the term for words for drunk. Okay? But there's okay. This is just some stupid fucking blog article. Fine, I'll list them. Pissed, sloshed, stewed, wrecked, hammered, bladdered, plastered, mullered, pickled, bevied, rubbered. Let me fucking kill this screenshot because it's right in the way of this fucking word. Tanked, cockeyed, zombied, blootered, trolleyed. I should be fucking reading this in British fucking accents. Red-assed, wanked, shit-faced, assholed. My fucking, I apologize to any people from Great Britain or anywhere in England or wherever in the UK that might be listening to my stupid fucking accent. But then it goes, and the list goes on. And they don't even get in the fucking words, okay? So I got a few. We learned some new drunk words, according to Britons. What is next? Headline scroll. Iran declares Antarctica its property in direct challenge to Biden and global treaty, because of course they did. Why not? We got just as much right to it as they do. What's next? Daily dose of gold may reverse Parkinson's and multiple sclerosis systems. That makes sense. I don't know why I saved that story. It's not as interesting this time around. So let's just move on and learn some fucking Irish sports. In this case, Gaelic football. That looks fun. Looking forward to learning more about Gaelic football soon and often. But I definitely need more shit explained to me because, I still don't understand it. There's a lot of rules, a lot of new sports, a lot of new things happening. Hurling, rugby, Gaelic football. I mean, I know soccer, I just don't enjoy it. Really at all. That being said, let's move on, shall we? Let's give this article from cracked.com that could be funny and could be not. It's 15 80s jokes that are lost on today's youth, and I thought that could be fun to talk about. On the air, when I was doing the radio show, I would get articles from Cracked every once in a while, and I would just be like, these are the dumbest articles ever. They make the way that they're worded, it's set up, I'm just like, it's not fun. Anyway, so you never know what you're going to get with a Cracked article, but 15 jokes from the 1980s that make 0 sense in 2024. 15. This tasteless joke requires you to remember 2 stories that were huge at the time but are now footnotes in these deceased stars' biographies. What's the difference between Michael Jackson and Richard Pryor? Michael Jackson was burned using Pepsi, and Richard Pryor was burned using Coke. Oh, okay. So Michael Jackson was burned using Pepsi. His hair caught on fire in a fucking commercial, and Richard Pryor burned himself alive. Not to death, but burned himself, caught himself on fire while smoking crack cocaine. So that's what that fucking joke means. Yep, lost on today's youth. Next. A popular joke among workers in communist Russia whose bosses at least respected them enough to pretend to pay them. So long as the bosses pretend to pay us, we will pretend to work. I don't know that joke. This telephone greeting that was common among goofball types relies, is that fucking word? Relies on the existence of payphones and the value of the dime. It's your dime, start talking. Okay, yeah, lost. Apparently, this common bathroom graffiti has evolved over the years, but by some accounts, it started out as an anti-ode to coin-operated public toilets. Here I sit, broken-hearted, paid a dime, and only farted. I remember that fucking graffiti shit. Probably in the 80s. Ronald Reagan had a colectomy and severe Alzheimer's. Did you hear about the Ronald Reagan commemorative typewriter? It has no colon and no memory. Okay. These are fucking stupid. Cracked. Sorry. Once again, your fucking articles failed. Your article is shit. And that is all I have, I think, for the podcast today, you guys. That is going to be it for me. I am done. Out of here. Friday, which is what, the 23rd? Friday the 23rd is going to be a public YouTube reaction and podcast recording, hence a what the hell everything, 9 a.m. And once a month, the last Friday of each month will be a public on the tubes. So there you go. And that's it for me. Also, I didn't do a podcast on Monday because I had things to do Monday morning, and I recorded and have it ready to go the brand new episode, brand new season of the Rock and Roll Roundtable album review podcast with my great friends December Lee and Michael Stevens, and we reviewed, not reacted necessarily, although there is a reaction aspect to that podcast, because a lot of times, again, we give each other homework assignments, albums to listen to. And most of the time, those are albums I haven't heard if December's heard it. So during the review, we play a highlight and a lowlight clip, and it's kind of like a reaction too for me or whoever hasn't listened to those songs. And we did the new Blink-182 album. We did the Scratch album, Mind Yourself. I gave that to Michael. I did Tedeschi Trucks. We did the new Green Day album review, and that is out on Spotify. And that video will be on Patreon for a year. All Patreon videos are available for a year before getting uploaded to YouTube. And Patreon and Spotify. So that'll be out probably by tonight, maybe tomorrow. I'm not sure when I'm going to release that or not. But that was fucking awesome to get in and get done. We were going to do it 2 weeks ago. I think in December was sick, and we just now rescheduled it. But we're going to be doing more of those, and I can't fucking wait. I think we'll have another one in about 2 weeks. So look for that as well, and that does do it for me. Thank you very much. I'm out.
So long, sucker.
Good night, everybody!
I am so sorry for everything that has happened.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, all right, I'll see you guys there.
By the bar and get your face, huh? Get me paid, bitch.
Sit, boo-boo, sit. Good dog.
I love y'all very much. Peace out.
Good night, ladies.
What the hell? Everything.